It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Boys Podcast.
I think Megan got pushed by social media. I think that, and I don't know if this is true. This is all, I'm just going off Megan's account. Megan said that, people in Tory Lane's camp were, I guess, hitting up different publications and putting different narratives out there and different stories. If that's true, the reason I thought that was crazy is because there's really nothing you could say that would justify it.
I'm not saying it's justified. It's not justified at all. But what it does,
you just want to know.
Of course,
we're nosy people. We want the whole story. That's all. I think people get upset when people say that. Like, I want the other side. They don't want the other side because they want to defend Tory. They don't want the other side because they're looking for some type of justification. We just want the other side to fill in the blanks. It's just like when I hear that somebody died, I need to know how they died immediately, especially when they're relatively young. Because the way my anxiety is set up, if somebody tells me, oh, such and such had a heart attack, I'm like, what? He's 40 years old and he had a heart attack? But when I hear, yeah, but he was doing drugs, I'm like,
ew.
Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's just a sigh of relief. Clearly something's wrong with Tory.
Yes, something's wrong with him. And I think that we can tell how deeply fucked up he is when we find out what he deems shoot-worthy, right? Because right now, you have this situation where he opened fire on a woman. Now, there's no... Allegedly opened fire on a woman. There's no justification for this shit. But I want to know what in his crazy-ass mind he thinks justifies it. Because then there might be other people like him out there that also believe that is justification to shoot. I need to know for my safety.
I think a lot of it is just fragile ego.
You think... Were they hooking up? Has anybody confirmed that?
I have no idea.
No, they didn't confirm it, but that's what everyone's assuming.
I just think it's fragile ego. I think that, a lot of guys are just insecure. They got low self-esteem. And that's what women call, when people talk about toxicness, toxic masculinity, that's what that is. When that ego, that wounded ego, gets touched, it's very vulnerable, you know what I mean? And you couple that with, and I'm just spitballing. I don't know anything. This is me. I'm just saying, you couple that with alcohol, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? That's what creates those volatile mixes that lead people to do those type of things. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all. And that's not a justification at all. It's just like, you want to know all the details so you can figure out how to prevent things like this from happening in the future.
I have a question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we tell young men? You know what I'm saying? So they avoid situations like this. Do young men need to be, that's why I stress therapy so much. I mean, that's why I stress healing so much. Get to that place where you're operating from your soul and not your ego, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, by the way, there's nothing wrong with ego. It just can't be a wounded ego. It can't be a hurt ego. It has to be a beautiful ego. I saw this thing today, man. I'm actually going to post this later. I thought this was very, very powerful. My homegirl, Debbie Brown, posted it. It said, ego versus soul. Right?
Right.
It says, ego seeks to serve itself. Soul seeks to serve others. Ego seeks outward recognition. Soul seeks inner authenticity. Ego sees life as a competition. Soul sees life as a gift. Ego seeks to preserve self. Soul seeks to preserve others. Ego looks outward. Soul looks inward. Ego feels lack. Soul feels abundance. Ego is mortal. Soul is eternal. Ego is drawn to lust. Soul is drawn to love. Ego seeks wisdom. Soul is wisdom. Ego enjoys the prize. Soul enjoys the journey. Ego is cause of pain. Soul is cause of healing. I think that's the question that we all need to ask ourselves. Are we leading with ego? Are we leading with our soul?
I have a question though. Do you think that there's anything Tory could say, like, to
rectify the situation?
Yeah.
But it's crazy how Taylor don't know what justification means. So when we say no justification, he doesn't understand it. Because there's no rectifying.
It's not I don't mean necessarily rectifying, but like how
there's nothing. The only thing Tory should be worried about is himself. And what I mean by that is Get your career, because what the energy you put out by doing that, you got to deal with all the allegedly, you got to deal with all the consequences of that action. You know what I'm saying? If you put your hands on her, if you shot her, you end up going to jail, whatever, that's on you. If you lose your career, whatever, that's on you. So all of that is out the window. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with the karmic consequences of that. The only rectification Tory should be seeking is rectification of himself. Turning that wounded, hurt ego into a healed, beautiful soul. That's going to take a lot of time. That's going to take a lot of therapy.
What are your thoughts on the fact that she didn't speak out about this at first and now she's speaking out now, like after the fact? No, I know that, but I mean, like, some say that this hurts her case if she tries to find justice, that she speaks out about it.
Does it hurt her case that she what now, Alex? That if she tries to find justice?
Yeah, like saying it publicly and speaking on the case publicly, it may hurt her case if this actually goes to trial.
I mean, this is what I expected from day one. What she did last week. I mean, it's commendable that they lasted a month or however long it lasted. Because remember, I was saying that. I was like, in this era, with them being that young, I'm shocked that we didn't find out what happened within 30 minutes of that whole situation. But you know, one thing that Megan said, people aren't even looking at all the different layers of trauma that Megan has been talking about. A young woman who lost her father at a young age, lost her mother who was her manager, lost her grandmother. Now she's just been thrust into this level of stardom. And we all know how fake and phony this fucking industry is. You know what I mean? Like, who is around her that's protecting her bones? Who's fossilizing her? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's keeping her upright? Who's keeping her sturdy? Who's keeping her mental health together? She probably hasn't even had a chance to grieve. And then when you listen to her talk and she talks about the different layers of trauma she had to deal with, like, think about that, right? That's what I wanted every mainstream publication to do. When you talk about this story, and I haven't heard this part, talk about the fact that that black woman was afraid to call the police. Talk about the fact that that black woman who had just been victimized was afraid to call the police because she felt like, being that they had guns in the car and it was a shooting, they could possibly be victimized.
Yeah.
That shows you how broken people are, right? If Tory did what he did. But that also shows you how broken our system is. Because it's like, who the fuck did she call for help then? Ghostbusters? Like, what do you do in that situation? So for me, it's just like looking at all them different levels of trauma that she went through in that night was wild. And then the fact that she felt like she was going to be victimized by the police. Then when she goes to the hospital, she said she didn't want to get this brother in trouble. Think about that. She knows how hard it is for us as black people to achieve any type of level of success. So even if somebody does something that would potentially throw all that he's worked for out of the window, she still is protecting that. Boy, that's why you black women is, man, something else. Something special. All I'm saying.
They deserve white men, bro.
Man, shut the fuck up.
They deserve white men, bro. They deserve white men. They're going to treat them right, bro. They deserve good white men. They're going to treat these beautiful black queens the way they're supposed to, bro. I mean it. We are here for you, black women. Hey, black women. We are here for you. Okay? I mean, who knows how to ride a stallion better than a white man? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, who knows how to ride a stallion better than a white man?
You saying a stallion needs a cowboy.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Did you just call me boy? Did you just call me boy?
Man, that is so fucking stupid.
Yo, let's bring it together.
Man, hey,
man.
listen,
we
man.
got you, Meg. Hey.